Kelly's Reading Corner, Kelly's Reading Corner. Because what else would I be doing with two kids during a pandemic but reading picture books? So join us. Hey guys, welcome back to Kelly's Reading Corner. And today we've got a special animal tale by Helen Lester and illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. It is Hooway for Wodney Wat. Yes, you heard me correctly. That is Hooway for Wodney Wat. And it is about a little guy who says things a little bit differently. So we're going to take a little bit of a wander with this tiny little rodent and see what it's like to live life in his shoes. Oh, poor guy. Poor Wodney Wat. His real name was Wodney Wat, but he couldn't pronounce his R's. To make matters worse, he was a rodent. A wodent. That's unfortunate. Uh-oh. We know that scene, don't we? "What's your name, Wodney?" asked the other rodents. "Wodney Wat," whispered Wodney. "What's another name for bunny?" they asked knowingly. "Wabbit," he mumbled. "And how does a train travel?" They winked at each other. "A twain twavels on twain twacks," Rodney replied miserably. Doesn't feel good, does it? Oh, all of this teasing day in and day out made Wodney the shyest rodent in his elementary school. His squeak could barely be heard in the class. He gnawed lunch alone. Oh, poor guy, sitting there with his little piece of cheese. Oh, and while the other rodents scurried and scooted about at recess, Wodney hid inside his jacket. He must feel terrible. Then, one day, as the rodents were taking turns doing wheelies, a new rodent, a very large rodent, barged into the classroom and announced, "My name is Camilla Capybara." There she is. "I'm bigger than any of you. I'm meaner than any of you. And I'm smarter than any of you." And then she added, "So there." She's certainly not as nice as everyone else. Oh, with that, she accidentally, on purpose, elbowed an ear, bumped two noses, stepped on three tails, and lay down on a desk. Fur prickled in fear through the classroom. She sure was bigger than any of them. She sure looked meaner than any of them. Was she smarter than any of them? Oh dear. "What's 2 plus 2? asked Miss Fuzzleworth. "4, shouted Camilla Capybara without even bothering to raise her paw. "And furthermore, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, and 243 plus 125 is 368. Later, when Ms. Fuzzleworth asked, "What's the capital of?" Camilla interrupted, "New York, Albany, population 2,905, 594. You know, I could stop and erase that part of the video, but then it wouldn't be a good opportunity to say, you know what, we all have our things, and reading numbers is my thing. I've been trying a really, really long time to help numbers be my friend and me befriend numbers, and we're warming up to each other, but it's taken a long time, and that's just something that I have to deal with a lot. So there you go. Everybody's got something, right? All right. Enduring science, in answer to the question, what part of a plant is below the ground, Camilla Capybara danced on her desk and sang, "Root, root, rooty toot toot." Yep, thought all the other rodents, she's smarter than we are too. They felt very uncomfortable. Every afternoon, just before final recess, Miss Fuzzleworth drew a name from her hat to see who would be the leader for their favorite game, Simon Says. She scrunched her eyes closed and jiggled the hat. Would it be Hairy Hamster, Minnie Feet Mouse, Grizzle Frizz Guinea Pig? Could it be Big, Mean, Smart Camilla Capybara? Miss Fuzzleworth's paw reached in and pulled out the name of Wodney Wat. The bell rang. There was a wild scurry for the door, and Camilla Capybara was the first on the playground, having trampled the others in her path. Look at her taken off. Meanie. Oh, I think he's really afraid now. Look at that. To Wodney, she looked especially scary. What would she do when she heard him speak? Breathe capybara breath in his face? Or tie him up with his own tail? Or even pounce on him? Oh, none of those look like good options. You know what? I felt like this sometimes. I think a lot of people feel like this sometimes. Let's see what he does. The tiny, trembling leader of the game stood before the eager players, his head well inside his jacket, and squeaked, "Wodney says weed the sign," while the other rodents read, "PS 142 Elementary School for Rodents." Camilla began pulling up the weeds around the sign and wildly flinging them hither and yon till she was clear up to her teeth in dirt. The other rodents began to smile. What just happened? Wodney said, "Weed the sign." Oh. Wodney says, "Whap your paws around your head." He peeked a little peek out of his jacket and saw whap, whap, whappity, slap, whap. Camilla was whapping her paws around her head so hard she became dizzy. She gave herself a headache, and she had to sit down. The other rodents couldn't help giggling. See, everybody else has got their hands nicely wrapped around their head. Oh dear. Oh no. Wodney says, "Wing around a wosy." Camilla put out her arms like wings and made an airplane noise. But where was the wosy? What was wosy? She looks really confused. Maybe she isn't the smartest of everyone else. By now, Wodney's voice was stronger, and his head was entirely out of his jacket. I love it. "Wake the leaves!" Nobody moved. Wodney says, "Wake the leaves!" While Harry, Minnie Feet, and Grizzle Frizz and the others busied themselves raking, Camilla Capybara grabbed one leaf. "Wake up!" she yelled. "Wake up!" She snatched another. "Come on! You! Up, 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 up!" And another, "Rise and shine!" And another, "Boo!" By now, all the other rodents were squealing with laughter, all but Camilla, who frowned. "Stupid leaves! They won't wake up. And why was everyone laughing at her? Such bullies. In a voice so strong that he had to hold his own ears, Wodney called, "Wodney says, go west." The rodents collapsed in a happy heap for the rest. Go west. Camilla Capybara, feeling very smart that she could tell directions by the sun, said, "All right, I shall go west." And then she added, "So there." West she stomped, forever. She was gone. And I hope that when she figured out, she went straight home. And from that day on, the pupils of PS 142 Elementary School for Rodents never teased Wodney again. He was their hero. "Hooway for Wodney Wat," they cried. "Woot woot, wooty toot toot." Well, this is just to show there is a little hero in everybody. There are special things about everybody. And I think that makes life really interesting, because if we all did the same things all the time, it would be boring. There would be no individuality, there would be no creativity, there would be no acceptance for differences. And that's what we have to work really, really hard, because when you run into someone who sounds different than you, who thinks differently than you, who looks differently than you, this is a good reminder to say we all have amazing things about us. We all have super strength inside of us. And getting to know other people that are different than us gives us a great opportunity to learn more about the world. So, Hooway for Wodney Wat, Hooway for Kelly's Weeding Corner, and Hooway, we'll see you next time. Bye. So, thanks so much for joining us. And don't forget to hit that little subscribe button so you don't miss story time. And we will see you next Friday.